there's a bill that was started by Dianne Feinstein a couple of weeks ago called the Keep Families Together Act. I'm seeing a yes from, okay. And anybody here, call your senators, call your representative, not that it's going to do any good with CATCO, but Keep Families Together Act, and no Republican has signed on to that bill yet. All the Democrats in the Senate have done it, but no GOP. My question is...
values for you.
Yeah, exactly. My question is, I've watched in this district for the last decade go from Republican to Democrat to Republican to Democrat to Republican, and one of the biggest reasons, I think, is Wayne County. We are the swing county in the swing district. And what I'd like to know from each of you is how you plan to get votes from Wayne County. Or how many times have you been here already, and how many times would you be here if you're nominated?
I can't tell you how many times I've been here. I've lost count. There might be some other people in the room who have counted. But Wayne County is the first place I came when I decided to run for office. And I have been back on a regular basis ever since. And I will continue to do so for a couple of reasons. I think one of the things that we've learned from having Donald Trump be elected is that people are angry about being ignored. We hear people talking about that all the time. As a Democrat in the 24th District, something that has always made me uncomfortable about Democratic politics here is how little attention has been paid to Wayne County. And the political consultants will tell you why, right? It's about the percentage of the vote and how you divide your time, and I understand those arguments. I get in trouble with my consultants sometimes when I fight back against those arguments. But to me, the heart of representation is about showing up. It is about listening. It is about making the person-to-person connection in the community. If you are going to stand up and say you represent me, you damn well better talk to me. You better know what it is that I care about, what the challenges are that I'm facing and that my neighbors are facing and that my town is facing and that the farmers down the street are facing. And those challenges are not the same everywhere. It is incredibly important to me to spend as much time as I possibly can talking to people in the community and listening, hearing from people in the community. I'm committed to continuing that. I'm committed to that not just in Wayne County, but in Oswego County and Cayuga County and in Onondaga County. And I'm committed to it not just in the process of campaigning, but in the process of governing. When I am serving in Congress, my first loyalty always is to the people of this district. And that means open communication. It means town halls that are real town halls, that are public, where anybody can walk in the door, where anybody can ask anything they want, that is not pre-screened, that's not poll-tested. It is real, honest conversation between me and the people that I am doing my best to represent. It means that every time I cast a vote in Congress, you will have a public statement explaining why I cast the vote the way I did, how I thought about that issue. It means that every time there is an issue up for vote in Congress, there will be lots of ways for you to weigh in to my office, to let me know how you think about the issue and what you want to see me do about it. Those things are fundamental to democratic representation. I am 100% committed to that, and Wayne County will never be at the bottom of the list.
Well, I told you earlier that I've been with the Department of Labor for a number of years, so I have been traveling this district either as a regional director for the Department of Labor or as a governor's representative, which I did for a period of time also. It's why I know the area and why I was very comfortable jumping into this race when I did. Something else that I do that brings me out here and brought me out here well before the race is I am a big player in my own American Legion in Syracuse. And you have great American Legions out here. And I work with veterans. I'm on the board of Clear Path for Veterans, which some of you may know has a huge effort in this district focusing on veterans that have recently come home with PTSD and need support systems. I've helped do that throughout this region. So if there are any vets in the room, we may have crossed paths. But I work primarily with those who are looking for resources, and we're ensuring that they have contact with either the VA or some type of federal resource so they're not left alone. I am concerned with what's happening to our veterans in this district, and it's one of the reasons I got involved in the race. I believe we need a congresswoman who has served in the military and can serve those throughout the district and our country with all that's coming their way with regard to good health care, their benefits, and what this Republican Congress is doing to them. But all that said, albeit I haven't been in this race as long as Dana. What I've been doing is coming out and doing meet and greets, and I've done that a number of times. I've come out to attend church with diverse groups in your area. I have spent Memorial Day in Newark focusing on the fact that I wanted to know more veterans, because I know that this county, this area, has its own way of helping families, has its own way of helping business. And I'm going to continue to learn that. But I can tell you I will be here. I will be here, I will be a voice for Wayne County, and I will ensure that you have a representative that you see. That's what I've been doing throughout my career. Building networks, working with state government, working with local government, working with each county mayor, the different mayors. That's what I've been doing. I've established these relationships, and I believe that's important for a congresswoman to determine how they make movement in the district, that they're working with the people and they're working with the leadership, the town supervisors, those who know people, those who know what the issues are. That's what I'm comfortable with, and that's what I feel good about I'll be able to do throughout this district. We do need a voice. Dana's right. John Katko, you know, he hasn't been around. I've been testing the waters. And I asked folks, what do you think about your congressman? Everyone keeps telling me that their congressperson is Louise Slaughter, who unfortunately we all know has passed away. And you know, time and time again, I realize it's not just Democrats, it's Republicans. Everybody has no clue. He has not been here at all. So believe me, you will be tired of me. I will be there in your churches, in your community centers, in your living rooms. That's the only way to represent you. And I will work for you and only you. Thank you.
Taxpayers give much more money to the federal treasury than it gets back in terms of services and benefits. What do both of you plan to do about how to rectify this situation?
Well, we have to repeal this tax bill. There's no doubt. Whoever beats John Katko, because we will beat him, the first thing we have to do is talk about repealing this tax bill. This is a travesty. It is a scam. Trickle-down economics does not work. It has been tried over and over again by Republicans. It does not work, and it is unfair to have a system in place where we offer that if you give to the rich and you give to big corporation tax breaks, incentives, whatever it is they want, that they will then turn around and help the working man and woman. It doesn't happen. What we are seeing, and I don't have to tell you this, is a bill that is providing corporate welfare at the expense of working men and women in this district who are seeing a small bump that is temporary, but in the long run, We'll pay more in taxes, property values will go down, and then we'll start to see the chipping away of Medicare, Social Security, health care for kids. Why? Because this adds $1.7 trillion to our deficit. What in God's name are they thinking? What are they thinking about? Themselves. That's all this is. And John Katko, he is just so disingenuous to tell us he cares about health care and turn around and vote for this, knowing it cuts the legs out of the Affordable Care Act with doing away with the individual mandate. It's going to kill the ACA with no plan in sight, putting millions of people in harm's way without health insurance, especially those with pre-existing conditions. I'm one of those folks. I'm in my 50s. And if you're in that age bracket, our premiums are going sky high right now. And by September, a lot of people my age aren't going to be able to afford health care. And what is John Katko doing? He's telling us that this is a great thing, that this is good for us. We have to repeal it. We have to put forward real tax relief that makes corporations pay their fair share, and one that is bipartisan in its putting together, that we are thinking about the working men and women of this country that need relief. We must do that. Thank you.
So this tax bill that passed is only the latest example of John Katko abandoning all of us, the people that he insists he stands for. Today we saw him at a fundraiser here in the district in Syracuse, $1,000 a plate, standing side by side with Mike Pence. Earlier this week, Mike Pence did another fundraiser with John Katko in Washington, D.C., $30,000 a plate. I didn't go to that fundraiser. They are not raising money from people like us. They're raising money from corporate donors. They're raising money from the wealthiest people in this country. Guess why all those people give John Katko and Mike Pence their money? Because they turn around and pass tax bills like the one they just did, which was a giveaway of billions and billions and billions of dollars to the people who already have billions and billions of dollars. And they did it on our backs, the backs of those of us who are working hard and oftentimes struggling to make ends meet. We have to undo that. I agree, we have to repeal that law. We have to make sure that our tax law puts at the center working families, middle-class families, students, people with disabilities, the people who are the most vulnerable and facing the greatest challenges in our society. We cannot let John Katko and Paul Ryan and the GOP get away with telling us we can't afford to do that. They ran up the deficit so they could cut programs. Paul Ryan didn't keep that a secret. He told us that's what he was going to do before they passed the tax bill. He went on TV and said, guess what? Social Security and Medicare are next. We can't let them do that. We have to close the loopholes in corporate taxes to make sure that corporations are paying their fair share. Don't ever let anybody tell you that corporations pay more taxes in this country than anywhere else in the world. It's not true. In fact, many of our largest corporations in this country pay $0 in taxes. There are so many loopholes that they can take advantage of. We end up paying for them, and that is backwards. They have stashed profits overseas to avoid paying taxes. Those corporations owe us, the American taxpayer, $750 billion in taxes. We need to bring that money home. Not a small percentage of it, like the GOP wants to do. All of it. I don't know about you, but when I owe taxes, I'm not allowed to pay a small percent. I have to pay the whole bill. So should they. We need to put a financial transaction tax on Wall Street transactions. That is a way with nobody will even notice that tax, and it will generate lots of revenue that then we can invest in infrastructure and healthcare and schools. That's how we create a tax system that is fair, that works for this country, and works for all of us.
This question is for Juanita. I know you come to the race late, and I believe the DCCC gave you money to get into this race. And I see you have a lot of commercials on TV, and I even seen some of your commercials on the cable channels. And I'm wondering if you get the nomination or win the primary, will you be taking corporate money? And I think I know where Dana stands on this, but I'm not sure where you stand.
Very early on, I took the pledge that I would not take money from corporate PACs. I don't want to do anything that causes anyone to distrust what I'm doing. And so you can be assured that I will not do that, nor do I believe it is the right thing to do. We watch John Cacco, who cannot stand up for the violence in our schools and in our urban areas from gun violence. He can't. He can't because where he's getting his money from. And so I know that I want to have the ability for people to trust. And I will move forward that way. When I got in this race, what I wanted was this district to be on the national radar. When the National Party spends money on campaigns and on boots on the ground, not just for candidates, but for the commercials against the incumbent, like you're seeing right now against John Cacco, they pick districts that they believe they can win. I wanted that for this district because that's the only way we can win, because the Republican National Party is now flowing in money to John Cacco. But the decision to run was mine. And no one has written a check for me other than when I am on the phone 8 to 10 hours a day, calling everyone I know, calling people all over the country, begging for money for this district and for this campaign, because so much is at stake. So this idea that I'm being handed money is untrue. What is happening is that because I am in the race, we have become a red to blue district. And that my experience, who I am, the campaign that I have run, the service to my country in the Navy, the fact that I have come from poverty myself and overcome, the fact that I am a mother and a grandmother, the fact that I have been fighting the fight for 25 years plus, that's why they believed that this district could be turned from red to blue. That's why people at the local level pushed me to do this. That's why voices since the mayor's race have been coming to my house, stopping me in church, stopping me in grocery stores. Get in. Get in. I had to go back to work. I had been out of a job for 1.5 years. I've got kids in college. This was not easy for me. I've got a grandson I want to be with that I don't get to see. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than Dana. This is about what's happening to this country. And if I could be a source to wake people up, to let them know, stop watching the tweeting. Pay attention to what this Republican Congress is doing. Pay attention. That's why I got in. But it's my dime. It's my effort. And I hope that as we move forward, we will start to see, either for myself or Dana, the effort coming in from around the country. because this district is leaning left. We know it. We can win this. John Caco's unfavorables are getting higher and higher. We can win this, whether me or Dana. And I'm proud. I'm proud that I'm in. I'm proud of my effort, and I'm proud that others want to get involved now. So this idea that money's coming in for me personally, no, that's not what's happening. It's me on the phone, it's me reaching out, and it's me getting this district on the national radar, which we are finding is happening more and more.
So, excuse me, I'd like to respond to this question also. Yes. So we have to get money out of politics. For me, in Congress, that will be the first day project. The first thing I'm working on is big money out of politics. And the reason is simple. We have to bring government and politics back to the hands of the people where it belongs. That's what my campaign is built on. That's what we are fighting for. My opponent says that she is not receiving large gifts of money. But what we see is that her campaign is being propped up by DC PACs who have invested $300,000 in advertising for her. She reported only 17 individual donations from inside the district. I am proud to say that more than half of the funding for my campaign comes from small dollar contributions from regular people like you and me. That is, I believe, how politics should be. That's how you know that when I am serving you in office, my loyalty will be to you, not to DC insiders, not to corporate donors, to you, the people who I am showing up for, listening to, and working to represent.